In this video we are going to cover the assembly process for an easy DIY Murphy bed. We are going to assemble a horizontal full-size Murphy bed. Please note the assembly steps and procedures are the same for all the other easy DIY Murphy bed sizes and cabinet orientation. If you are planning on painting or staining your Murphy bed, we recommend you do it before assembling the bed. Removing the hardware parts will make it a lot easier to paint or stain the wooden parts before the assembly process. If you have laminate or hardwood flooring, we recommend that you apply protective padding under the cabinet sides, parts F, to protect the floors. You can easily buy felt or similar protective pads at any local dollar store or hardware store. You may need to trim the pads to size, to fit under the cabinet sides. Just place the protective pads on the ends of the cabinet sides as shown here. Do this for both sides. Before you start assembling the Murphy bed, it is recommended that you place a protective covering, or carpet on the floor if you are assembling the Murphy bed on laminate or hardwood flooring. This will protect your floor from scratches and other damages when assembling the DIY Murphy bed. Using a helper, slowly lower your bed frame onto the floor if it is standing. Note the bed frame is resting on the bed handles at this point. If there is no carpet on the floor, the handles could potentially scratch the floor during the next steps of the assembly process. Grab the white nylon spacer and shim washer that came in the hardware bag, included in the hardware kit. Grab one of the cabinet sides, part F, and place it alongside the bed frame with the finished edge resting on the floor. Slide the half-inch white spacer onto the male pivot rod on the cabinet side. Now slowly insert the male pivot rod into the hole on the lower plate. The male pivot plate should easily slide into the hole. Our male pivot plate features a unique self-locking pin that will securely keep the male pivot in place when it is inserted into the lower plate. Even though it is not 100% required, we recommend you install the white shim washer that come with the hardware. This will eliminate any small gaps between the auto locking pin and the lower plate. The cabinet side is now installed. Repeat the same steps to install the other cabinet side. Now it's time to install the cabinet top-bottom between the two cabinet sides. Place the cabinet top unit between the two cabinet sides as you see here. Grab some scrap wood such as the leftover 1x2 pieces from the bed frame construction and stack 2 pieces together so that total height is 1.5 inches. Place the block under the cabinet top unit. This will raise the cabinet top unit, so it is flush with the rear of the cabinet sides. Do this on both sides. Using a wood clamp, clamp the cabinet top unit to the cabinet sides, making sure the two tops are flush with each other as shown here. Also make sure the cabinet top rear is flush with the unfinished edge of the cabinet sides. Note that when assembling a vertical style Murphy bed, the cabinet top rear, part GD, will overhang 1/4 inch over the cabinet sides. This 1/4 overhang can be trimmed flush with the cabinet sides if desired. With the pencil, mark 4 equally spaced pencil marks on the cabinet top sides parts GE. Pay close attention to the placement of the pencil marks so they clear the existing wood screws. Using 1¼ inch long wood screws, drive 4 screws on each side where you place the pencil marks. Drive more screws if needed. These will secure the cabinet top to the cabinet sides. Now remove the wood clamps and spacer blocks on both sides. Now it's time to attach the upper header and the lower header to the rear of the bed. Measure and mark according to the measurements shown in Section 4 of the assembly guide, that is included with the Easy DIY Murphy Bed hardware kit. The unfinished edge of the lower header part EB will be 16 inches from the bottom end of the cabinet sides. You may use a stool or similar object to hold up the lower cabinet header, or you may use a helper. Set up the lower header as shown, 16 inches from the bottom end of the cabinet sides. Note that this 16-inch measurement can be changed a little to suit your custom setup. Just keep in mind you will need to access the rear of the bed cabinet to install the Easy Lift pistons, therefore do not close the back of the cabinet before installing the Easy Lift pistons. Measure and mark according to the measurements shown in Section 4 of the assembly guide. Drive 3 2-inch long wood screws where you placed the pencil marks. Make sure the screws are flush. Do this for the other side as well. For more advanced woodworkers, pocket screws can be used to attach the upper and lower headers to the cabinet sides instead of wood screws. Now let's attach the upper header, part EA, to the bed cabinet. Measure and mark according to the dimensions shown in Section 4 of the assembly guide. Place the top header between the cabinet sides, making sure the finished edge of the header is facing away from the cabinet top. Use 2-inch long wood screws to secure the cabinet top header to the cabinet sides. Make sure the screws are flush. Repeat the same steps for the other side. Note you may also use pocket screws instead of wood screws. The upper and lower headers have now been installed. If you have opted to install the optional kick panel, this would be the time to do it. Refer to Section 5 of the assembly guide for installation instructions for the optional kick plate. Using the kick plate is highly recommended to help keep the cabinet sides pinned in at the bottom over time. It is recommended that you shim the front of the kick plate so it is flush with the cabinet sides. Place the kick plate between the two cabinet sides. Drive 2 2-inch long wood screws to secure each cabinet side to the kick plate, part K. You may also use pocket screws for this step. The kick plate has been installed. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it, and subscribe for more upcoming great DIY content from us. For more details and to download a free copy of our visually illustrated construction guide, visit easydiymurphybed.com.